Rob McCarran.
And then 2 weeks after that, we got Money in the Bank. And then 2 weeks after that, we got Starrcade. And then 2 weeks after that, we got Halloween Havoc.
Jeff Hawkins.
I'm Dana Brooke.
You're listening to Shake Them Ropes with Rob McCarran and Jeff Hawkins.
Destination America has canceled TNA. Such happy-go-lucky music, isn't it?
This sounds like Muse or something.
Does it? Sounds like music.
Yeah, Muse.
Yeah, no, I know who Muse is, but yeah, it's happy-go-lucky music.
Yeah,
it's happy-go-lucky. I don't know. What are you gonna do about it? Shake Them Ropes. Rob McCarran, Jeff Hawkins here. It is Shake Them Ropes, episode 88. Jeff, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. It's Money in the Bank week.
I got a comment. It's like, yeah, I listened to your podcast. You didn't suck as much as I thought you did, Hawkins. I was like, well,
you're getting better.
Backhanded compliments. Still compliments.
You're getting better. You're learning how to do this a little bit better.
Well, it was because they knew me. They didn't know you, so they had to comment on me.
Yeah, you're getting a little better.
Thank you.
Not quite where I want you to be at this time, but, we're progressing. We'll let you see how you'll do hitting AAA pitching here soon. But we are here for Money in the Bank week. We timed this perfectly by accident. Our match today on the top 100 matches to see on the WWE Network Before You Die, our match number 75. It is the first ever Money in the Bank match. We are going to discuss this. So wonderful timing, as Sunday is Money in the Bank, the pay-per-view, which will feature one Money in the Bank ladder match. It is the first Money in the Bank pay-per-view that will not have two ladder matches on it. It is the second in a row that will not have two Money in the Bank ladder matches on it. Only one ladder match coming up this Sunday, and as of now, only 6 matches announced for the real show.
Oh, hold on. There's no. The title match is a ladder match.
There are 2 ladder matches. That's right. Just not a multi-person ladder match.
Correct.
That's right. The title match. Seth Rollins. How could I have ever forgotten that? The fact that this is the third pay-per-view in like 4 weeks.
I forgive you. You're getting better. Maybe you'll be able to hit single A pitching eventually.
This is the third pay-per-view in 4 weeks.
Yes.
Has it been 5 Sundays even, or will this be the 4th Sunday?
I'm enjoying this quality time we're having together, Rob.
Yeah, are you? We've been doing a lot of shows lately because we do these shows after the pay-per-view. We do the preview shows. We do our regular shows. We're going to be live on Sunday, too, after Money in the Bank. We're going to be live at Shake Them Ropes. You can go to @ShakeThemRopes on Twitter. You can go to voicesofwrestling.com/STR and find us. That's where the web player is. So if you want to listen to our live podcast recording after Money in the Bank, you can do that at 11 p.m. Eastern, right after Money in the Bank ends. We will be there live talking about all the craziness. And most likely, in my view, we'll be talking about either a John Cena win over Kevin Owens or what kind of messed up finish they gave that match. I don't fathom it's possible that Kevin Owens can beat John Cena clean twice in a row.
Help me out here, because I'm still not certain of this. Is this a title match or is it not a title match?
It's not a title match. It's one-on-one. It's a non-title affair.
It's very possible that Owens could beat him clean again.
I don't think it's possible. Just for that fact, whether the titles were on the line or not, I don't think Kevin Owens is beating John Cena twice in a row.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I could see you do that. And then it's like, well, now finally for the title on the line, and then nothing. But I don't.
Well, because again, Kevin Owens doesn't want the title.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Right. Kevin Owens doesn't want the title. It's not like he has to beat Cena a couple of times and then finally get a title shot. Kevin Owens doesn't want the title. He could have had a title shot on Raw the first night in. He doesn't want that belt. He says, take this belt away from me. I don't want it.
He has to lose the belt before he wants the belt.
That's interesting too.
Yes.
Because last week, WWE announced that on July 4th, the morning of July 4th, they will be airing what was originally intended to be a Japanese live event. They'll be airing it live on WWE Network, July 4th, headlined by Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston, of all people.
A main event in any arena.
John Cena in the main event, most likely a tag match with a couple of people, or in a singles match with King Barrett. You got Neville against Chris Jericho. And you got Finn Balor challenging for the NXT Championship against Kevin Owens on the morning of July 4th on WWE Network. 6:30 in the morning.
In Japan. Where Prince Devitt once reigned.
Yep. Yeah. Could Finn Balor win the championship against Kevin Owens? And this match would take place on July 4th, so it would take place in between Money in the Bank and the next pay-per-view Battleground.
Oh, and Battleground, yeah. Yes.
Yes.
That would be an interesting turn of events, wouldn't it?
It would be interesting.
I say bank on it.
We're going to talk about Money in the Bank. We're going to talk about the Money in the Bank match from WrestleMania 21, the first ever Money in the Bank match at the end of our show, talking about the top 100 matches. Talk a little bit about NXT. We're talking a little bit about the fun that Gabe Sapolsky has had on Twitter today with everybody. We are going to talk about the return of Brock Lesnar as he's being advertised for shows, not to mention just that July 4th show. But let's start with Money in the Bank, shall we?
Okay.
Did you lose me?
No.
Okay. You did this classic move where you put your arm up to the headset like, I'm listening closely. Say that again, producer.
I'm just trying to find something to do with my hand.
Oh. Well, find a way, Jeff. Find a way to put your hand someplace. Money in the Bank 2015. This show is coming up upon us. It is this Sunday on WWE Network.
Yes.
What is the main event of this show is a ladder match, as I have found out from you here in the last 10 minutes. Forgot completely it was a ladder match, but it makes the most sense. I mean, coming out of the last pay-per-view, Dean Ambrose still has this damn belt. And that's about it. That's it. That's the reason for a ladder match. He has the belt.
I thought you were leading to a question.
No, I'm not leading to any question. He has the belt. Seth Rollins can't get it back. Apparently, there's more craziness this week on SmackDown that hasn't aired yet with this stupid belt.
No, the belt's going to be hung.
It's going to be hung
over the ladder. Then he can get it back.
Did you see what they're doing on SmackDown with this belt?
No.
Dean Ambrose loses it in New Orleans. He loses it.
It's not the most shocking thing to ever happen, but okay.
He's got to find it.
Oh,
by the pay-per-view so that it can be hung up because he lost it.
Check the pawn shops.
Dean Ambrose, when your gimmick is you have props, you better not lose your props. What if Carrot Top showed up to his comedy show and he lost all his props? What would he do?
One-man show.
Well, it's already a one-man show.
About feelings and about how his dad never loved him.
A one inanimate object show. The pre-show match on this is King Barrett against R-Truth. There is nothing to this match whatsoever. I would normally say that there's no possible way R-Truth wins this match and King Barrett's just on the show to get a win, and I still think King Barrett will get this win. But they do some weird things with R-Truth. Like, R-Truth at one point beat King Barrett while Barrett was the Intercontinental Champion clean on a SmackDown earlier this year. R-Truth was winning matches on house shows. Like, every once in a while, they just give R-Truth wins, and it's weird.
The only way I could see him winning this match is actually the one SmackDown note I saw was that he had put on the cape and the crown and was dancing on top of the announcer's table during SmackDown. And someone would think, man, that would be really funny if we put R-Truth in the king position.
Sure.
But that's, you know, I hope it's an easy win for Barrett, I think.
It should be, but I could easily say, let's give R-Truth the win. Why not? King Barrett loses every match, whether he's the Intercontinental Champion or not now anyway. Like, he finally gets rid of the belt, so you're expecting King Barrett to go on a winning streak, and he gets this King of the Ring title, and he loses everything again. And he's a joke. And he's going to be the King of the Ring for... How long do you expect this King Barrett to actually be King Barrett?
Until Vince no longer laughs.
I'm trying to think of how long Sheamus was King Sheamus, and I think he may have gotten hurt when they took the name off of him. But, like, it's
he got... the week after he got pedigreed. Because, like, week 2, when he was King of the Ring, he came down with the antler horns and stuff to screw around with Triple H.
Sheamus was King Sheamus for more. King Sheamus was King Sheamus for more than 2 weeks.
Okay.
He was Definitely.
He may have just not been wearing the silly getup.
No, he was wearing that getup for a while. Wasn't
It's a shame they don't treat this as more serious than it is, because it could actually,
when the hell was he King Sheamus?
It could be an indicator to his toughness, but instead it's oh look, he's wacky, and he thinks he has power.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give it to Ziggler if you're gonna do that. That'd be the funniest he'd ever been.
Yeah.
Although apparently he's doing a show at the Comedy Store, which made me laugh because I'm sure it's a bringer show in the belly room, not really a booked show, but that's comedy inside baseball. So
yeah, no one knows what the hell that means.
I know.
Let's talk about this Money in the Bank ladder match. It is the only Money in the Bank ladder match on this show, on Money in the Bank. Dolph Ziggler, Kane, Kofi Kingston, Neville, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Sheamus. And it's probably the first match since Sheamus' return where he's not the heavy favorite, because it seems like he's always the heavy favorite in every match, whether it's the single matches with Ziggler, whether it was the Elimination Chamber going in, whether it's anything. Sheamus has been the favorite. He is not the favorite here.
No.
And whether he should have been or not beforehand, who knows? There's one favorite in this match, and it's Roman Reigns.
Yeah. The only way I could see them not putting it on Roman Reigns is that everybody thinks it's going to be Roman Reigns, so they'll just decide, let's give it to Orton.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that they did with the Elimination Chamber. Of all people, they gave it to the Ryback, and he won the Intercontinental Championship. And obviously, it sounds like they had something for him with the feud with Big Show ready in the books. But Randy Orton has gotten his title matches. The Seth Rollins-Randy Orton thing is over. And again, we never had a clear finish to that. Like, Seth Rollins has not had a clear ending to a feud, like, ever. Dean Ambrose hasn't either. But Seth Rollins certainly hasn't.
No. And then you throw in just the endless Sheamus Randy Orton matches that go nowhere.
Yeah, there weren't.
I have two questions for you on this match. These are what you would call prop bets.
Okay.
Number of superstars who are injured after this match.
Are you going to give me an over/under, or I just have to pick a number?
I will give the over/under, or exact, at 2.
2. Well, then I'm going to go under, because I bet there will be only one.
Okay, who do you think it'll be?
Dolph Ziggler.
So I have penciled in Neville and Sheamus re-injuring himself here.
Sheamus seems not to have the best luck in ladder matches.
No.
Not the best luck. But I would go, Ziggler's going to take one of those weird bumps, and it's just a matter of time, really.
And the other prop bet.
Okay.
Is this where we see the red arrow into the RKO?
Yes. Oh, yeah, it is. Because these two may never face each other again in any meaningful match.
True.
I think this is where you see the red arrow into the RKO. Why not?
All right.
But also at the same time, now this red arrow would have to come off of a ladder, no? Because you're not just going to see Neville go up to the top rope and hit a move, because why would you?
You do sometimes. There's sometimes top rope moves when they've cleared the ring of ladders and whatnot.
Yeah, if you're going to guess someone takes an RKO out of something, I think Neville out of the red arrow. And that would look like a pretty cool spot. And that would be, something of interest and something memorable.
Mm-hmm.
I think it happens. And maybe Randy Orton gets up from the RKO and turns right into a spear, and Roman Reigns climbs the ladder, and Roman Reigns has your Money in the Bank title briefcase.
Now, the other rumor going around, not to be the driving force on this show, but
I feel like this show is going to be a show full of rumors.
No, well, there's the thought that this is where Roman cashes in the briefcase after a Dean Ambrose title win.
Well, we'll talk about that once we get to the title match here.
Okay.
Before we do that, the tag team championships are on the line. With Tyson Kidd's injury, they were probably out of the spotlight anyway, but Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are out of the spotlight. Right. You have the New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods, because Kofi is in the ladder match. You get the Big E Xavier team going up against Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, the dad of the year. Could we see new champions here? The New Day roll on.
New Day rolls on.
The New Day remains the same day.
Unless they were going to tease a start of an angle where Xavier Woods is the weak link, but I don't see that happening.
Wouldn't that just be something because they're finally getting over for the first time since they debuted in November as this heel group, and now they're going to tease dissension? I don't see that happening yet. I don't see that happening one bit.
I don't either, but it's possible.
It's so weird because, I mean, again, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan have been sporadically on TV, mostly on the C shows. They were not in the tag team title elimination chamber match a couple weeks ago, but there's a lot of buzz around them in the tag team division because of what they've been doing lately on their matches, and that's finishing matches with the 3D. Yeah. And there's been a Twitter war going on with Luke Harper and Bully Ray. Bully Ray, who recently returned to TNA, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he was in TNA at the last tapings or something like that. Maybe he was just in for a tiny bit.
He was.
But Bully Ray and Luke Harper, and now Devon is getting involved. Could they actually be... was this something where you think they just gave him this finish because, okay, it's a tag team finisher that they can do, and no one has used it in WWE in the last 10 years, so it's fair game? Or do you think they're going to build to some type of tag team coming back like the Dudley Boys?
Well, I could see it either way, but I think basically they allowed them to have it and they didn't get the Dudley Boys' blessing. And so I think the Dudleys are using this as a way to get maybe a one shot in.
Why not work your angle? If the plan isn't for the Dudley Boys to come back and they haven't been talking, work that angle. Why not? Create
but
interest.
This was the same. Well, does it create interest?
I think so.
Because here's the thing. I mean, they did the same thing with the Ascension and the New Age Outlaws. Who did that help? Actually, New Age Outlaws and another old team. Who are the other old guys they went in with? Road Warriors.
The difference is no one ever wanted to see those matches. What you have to do here, if you're Bully Ray, is gain interest to where people actually want to see the Dudley Boys go up against Harper and Rowan. And the catalyst for that is the fact that Harper and Rowan have their finish. The Ascension, no one ever wanted to see the Ascension in any of those people.
It's been at least a decade since the Dudley Boys have even been on WWE television, correct?
Yeah. Well,
then who's going to care?
Bully Ray was at the Royal Rumble, so you got that little bit of interest there. But it's been 10 years since they were regulars. I mean, their last appearance was One Night Stand 2005. It's coming up. It might be today is the 10-year anniversary of their last match as a tag team in WWE.
So do you hype them, or is it a one-shot surprise deal?
I mean, if the Dudley Boys are coming back, it's a one-shot because they're not going to be regulars. I don't even know if Devon would want to be a regular.
I know it's a one-shot, but do you build it, or do you just say...
Yeah, you don't make it a surprise.
You make them show up.
Yeah,
okay.
you make it something known. Whether you do it at SummerSlam, if, for all we know, it's going to be on, a takeover special. They could do that. Triple H seems more apt these days to bring guys like that back than coming on the main roster.
That was the Ascension's gimmick in NXT, was they're beating old tag teams from the past down there. I mean, we thought they may get a one-shot deal in NXT at that time, but...
Yeah. I know, I was calling for Dudley's and Ascension at WrestleMania. It didn't happen, but
yeah,
I will take the W if they come back to wrestle Harper and Rowan. I will still somehow take the W on that. I don't know how I can justify it, but I'll take it.
You bring in all three?
Well, no.
And then you get a feud with Los Matadores.
Let's be real. No one cares about Spike. No one cares about the other ones. It's all about Bully Ray and Devon, and they probably don't even care much about them. But if they come back in for one match, I think they would have some... it would have some hype. And look, you're trying to build up this WWE network. I think people would be interested in it for a one-shot deal. And it has the hardcore base because people like Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. More so Luke Harper. My
fear is that they trade wins at some point.
The point is...
that would do nothing.
I don't think the Dudley... Well, maybe the Dudley Boys would get a win and they have a series, but I think it would just be Harper and Rowan winning a match.
They get a win in the return match on Raw. Or in the pre-Raw before the pay-per-view.
For all we know, it could be a one-shot surprise on a pay-per-view. The real point is this. You have the New Day, defending their tag team titles against the primetime players. But what a lot of the people on the interwebs are talking about is are the Dudley Boys going to come in for Harper and Rowan? That's the sign, I think, of a good tag team division, is when you have multiple things people can be talking about inside a division.
Well,
not necessarily the fact because the Dudley Boys aren't in WWE, so you're talking about a what if fantasy booking part of the division, but still.
Well, nobody's talking. Hold on, nobody. It's not the mark of a good tag team division because nobody's giving the New Day or not the New Day, but the primetime players any shot at winning these belts.
Yeah, I don't think it's 50-50. by any means.
Oh, it's not even 75-25.
I think it would be. I think it would be. Because they've shown interest in different teams to where they could pass around Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, give the belts to them, and then eventually get a return match. You have the fact that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro aren't going to be around. The Usos aren't going to be around. You seem to be giving Ascension some wins, but it's up to the Lucha Dragons and the Ascension to be the other teams in this division, right? So do you put all 4 teams in this in the span of a couple of months, or do you drag out a New Day Primetime Players feud? And if you do that, you have to give the belts to the Primetime Players at some point.
I liked the idea of teaming up Cesaro with the uninjured Uso. But
give Cesaro to the yeah, why not? Like, hey, we're tag team specialists. We've both had success this year. Why not? Let's join forces while our partners come back.
And then when one of the other partners come back, you do the breakup.
You do the breakup, and you're like, oh, even what I would be interested in, if we want to fantasy book this even more, you have the Uso and Cesaro win the tag team championships, and they end up being this like really dominant team. And then like one of the others is coming back. You're like, hey, bro, we were tag team partners. What are you doing? Well, I'm the champions right now. So what happens is the other Uso and Kid team up because their partners are gone. They want those tag team belts. And now you have Cesaro and the Uso going up against the other Uso and Kid.
Yeah, they kind of did that in Ring of Honor a few years ago when they were bringing in O'Reilly and they had the Wolves and they had Red Dragon.
Sure.
On opposite sides. Yeah.
Do it again.
No, it's fine. It's great.
The New Day is going to win this match, I think, though, still.
Yes.
Seth Rollins, let's go this. Let's do the Divas Championship. Nikki Bella and Paige. Naomi is long gone out of the system.
Yes.
Paige is cutting Truth Hurts promos. You have
Nikki's cutting heel promos and then on her entrance giving high fives to fans.
And smiling.
Always nice.
Smiling all the time.
Oh, jeez.
Renee Young introduces her and the crowd doesn't know what to do with Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella and Paige, you may be very right that you've been on this train for a while. Nikki Bella may be out to set this record of the longest championship reign.
Remember who called that, kids? It wasn't anybody else. It was me who called that. Thank you.
You were on that narrative even before AJ left. When she won the title, are they just going to get this record out of the way right away? But Nikki Bella, I mean, I would have to go with her as the winner just because that's the only thing that you can kind of hang your hat on right now is the fact that they might want to give her the record.
Her legacy.
Now, she may not win this match. There may be some type of weirdness going on because, again, you have Battleground, then SummerSlam, and you can do Paige and Nikki Bella as the big match at SummerSlam. Or you can do, Nikki and Brie at SummerSlam if you really want to.
I think this is going to be the match that they wanted to have last time, but they may have said, well, if Naomi hadn't been in there, we would have had a really, really strong match. So I think they're going to try once again to replicate what they've been hearing from a certain other number 2 promotion in the U.S.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. We're going to talk about the number 2 promotion because they have a TV show coming up later tonight. Of course, we're talking about NXT.
Yeah. For those who don't know, there was an argument that NXT is technically the number 2 promotion in America. I'm just glossing it. We're not going to give all the details or anything like that. But
there was no argument. There was one person being ridiculous and stupid against everybody.
Okay.
So on this Wikipedia page, I'm on this Wikipedia page for Money in the Bank 2015, and I already thought it looked a little light because they only list 7 matches and one is the pre-show match. Are we missing something because they list Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose twice? Is there not a Ryback and Big Show Intercontinental Championship match?
Yes, there is. I thought that was one of them. Yeah.
Well, someone is missing that then. Now the Money in the Bank. So, what's happening right now is people are fixing the screw up on the Money in the Bank Wikipedia page. So now it's down and it's looking like craziness. So,
and no Miz?
Ryback and the Big Show for the Intercontinental Championship. Jeff Hawkins. Ryback going to keep it. Is Big Show going to win it for whatever reason?
This is so confusing because he gave him the shell shock on Raw, which you would think would be the climax of the match. So I think there's at least a small possibility that Big Show wins this. But I'm going with Ryback, but there's a possibility, I think, that they're going to be trading wins over the month.
Ryback just won the championship. Just won it. Got the big put over from Daniel Bryan. Big Show comes back. They have 2 weeks to build up this match. Ryback does hit him with the shell shock, so you think that would be the big move that you have to pay for the network to see.
Well, let me ask something. I don't know all the SmackDown tapings. Did Big Show choke slam Ryback?
Maybe he did. Maybe I should find that out.
I figured you being the more newsy of the two.
Do you think people? Well, I very briefly skimmed over the SmackDown spoilers just because, like, I wanted to see what they were going to do with the title situation and see if Kevin Owens had a match. And Kevin Owens, of all people, wrestles on Main Event. Heath Slater finally gets to challenge for the title. Heath Slater answered the NXT Open Challenge against Kevin Owens. I
want to see that so bad. I want to hear his promo.
Should be on Hulu tonight. We're recording this on the afternoon of Wednesday, June 10th. But yeah, that's we'll probably have a recap of that on Voices of Wrestling just because it's somewhat newsworthy because it's a title match on Main Event of all things. What happens here? Let's see. What am I looking for? The Ryback?
Yeah, Ryback, Big Show.
Oh, let's see. Nope, Big Show just cuts a promo on him saying, hey, I'm taking that belt on Sunday.
And he probably is.
That's about it. Maybe he is. So what are you doing there? Hey, what are you doing with the Big Show? What on earth can the reason be? Big Show of all people.
Well, then when he beats Big Show for the belt, it'll be even bigger.
I don't know. Big Show win this belt and Ryback fails to get it back. And Daniel Bryan's finally healthy, so Daniel Bryan slays the beast when he comes back.
Oh, let me throw this out there. Screwy finish with Miz interfering on behalf of one of them.
Yeah, because Miz is kind of like Ryback beats Miz on SmackDown, right? So
yeah.
So I mean, he's involved in this,
right?
Just as the dummy, basically. Like maybe he does interfere and says, "You two stop bullying me," and they both, crush him. And there's a DQ, and he gets implanted in like a triple threat at some point, or
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Or maybe. If we're gonna fantasy book, let's just be ridiculous with it.
No,
maybe the Miz says, "Okay, I'm not big enough for you two, but I know someone who is." Braun Strowman from NXT, yeah. No, he's probably not even that big. I mean, Braun Strowman's not necessarily tall; he's just jacked, just a strong man. I don't know who else is out there. Is there anyone getting signed that's really big, like big?
Gabe.
Sapolsky? Yeah. Yeah. Probably. You're probably right on that.
Samoa Joe.
Mojo Rally.
Oh, jeez.
Mojo Rally. Oh, the big. We're going to talk about NXT tonight.
No, let's move on.
What's next? What's next? Are we at the title match yet? Are we at Seth Rollins?
We are.
And Dean Ambrose for the championship. As long as Dean Ambrose can find the belt. Yes. We're going to have the World Heavyweight Championship ladder match. We are back after Raw this week to Seth Rollins not having anyone in his corner potentially for this match as he lost clean. And by clean, meaning, Kane got involved. So you just kind of assume that's part of the matches these days, Kane getting involved. Yeah. Seth Rollins lost to Joey Mercury. He looks like he's going to have to go it alone, right? I mean, the story is going to be Seth Rollins. Now, and this is why it makes sense to have Seth Rollins win, grab the belt, dump Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins needs one of these strong wins where it's like, okay, this is a guy who can win the belt himself. He doesn't need all the help. I fear, though, that they're going to have someone else help him, like someone we're not expecting. Or, for all we know, Triple H could be like, okay, Seth, we're tired of you. Dean Ambrose is our next guy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we both know he needs a strong win, but they may not know he needs a strong win. And I could see something very convoluted going on here. Maybe even to the point of Roman wins the briefcase, and then Ambrose is about to win the belt, but he doesn't want to have to beat his buddy, so he kind of accidentally does something. He doesn't turn full heel. But the point A to point B, more than likely, is that the Authority are somehow involved in this again, because everything revolves around the Authority.
Everything revolves around the Authority. And the issue here is you mentioned the fact that Roman Reigns could win this briefcase and and cash it in sometimes at the pay-per-view. I wonder if we're looking too much at, like, you know, not necessarily conspiracy theories, but looking and trying to fit every single piece all at once. I mean,
I don't think he'd cash it in that scenario. I think he'd just not want to cash it in against a friend. So he kind of.
But for months and months, we had the fact that, you know, Seth Rollins was carrying around this briefcase, and we all assumed different things that might happen, and then he cashed it in at WrestleMania. I mean, it very well could be that, you know, Seth Rollins gets a clean win here, and that's it, and then Dean Ambrose is out of the picture. And then
that's what I want. That's what I want.
Because what a lot of people are expecting to happen, whether they want it or not, is possibly with Seth Rollins using the pedigree now, you have a Triple H Seth Rollins match at SummerSlam. But I'm not exactly sure how you get there unless it's going to be super basic with the whole, okay, Seth Rollins is doing it on his own, and Triple H wants to prove to him, okay, you could do it on your own, but I still control things. Like, you may think you can win titles on your own, but I control where those titles go.
Since this is a fantasy booking show, it seems I have a way to get there. Battleground, you do Brock and Seth, and Roman cashes in to make that a triple threat, so that you get that back from WrestleMania. And Roman gets the win for the belt. And then the Raw afterwards, Triple H makes fun of Rollins for losing the belt. And that's when things explode, and he challenges him to the match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are ways to get there. I'm just... Like, Money in the Bank is one of these, like, it's a fairly unimportant show. I mean, you're going to have the Money in the Bank challenger, so it allows you in the future. What? What are you scoffing at? Did I say what?
And you didn't say unimportant. You said something else.
I said unimportant. Did I say unimportant show? Like inappropriate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a mistake.
That's not.
It's a fairly unimportant show. With the fact that, okay, you get the briefcase on somebody, so you have your out storyline wise. Like, you could effectively put the title wherever you want to, because Roman Reigns with that briefcase is like an interim champion. I mean, it's basically what it is. You can just put it wherever you want to and get yourself out of different things. You have Brock coming back soon, because Brock is advertised for the June 22nd Raw. He's advertised for Battleground. He's going to be on that show. He's advertised for the July 4th show in Japan. That's going to be on the network. So he's coming back. Still have Seth Rollins. I mean, Dean Ambrose is the odd guy out. The reason why I don't think there's any way Dean Ambrose wins this title, unless you have Roman take the championship at the end of Money in the Bank, Dean Ambrose is effectively the odd man out. Like, he's not going to be involved here shortly.
Yeah, and if you have him take the belt from Dean, you turn him a heel, which I don't think they want to do, and also you lose the revenge storyline from WrestleMania. So I don't think that's going to happen.
And at some point, are we please? Not that anyone wants this match, but I kind of do. The one match in WWE that makes the most sense right now. When are you going to do Kane and Seth Rollins? The world wants to know.
No, they don't. Probably Monday.
That would just be it. Oh, I don't know. We had a question on Twitter. I'm going to find it here. And this kind of leads into our NXT discussion, because that's Money in the Bank. I mean, that's what it is. Money in the Bank is coming up this Sunday. I mean, I'm interested in it because the Money in the Bank briefcase is still an important storyline figure. It's the 10th anniversary of Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank debuted in 2005 at WrestleMania 21, the match that we'll talk about here in a bit, but it is the 10th anniversary. If you're interested in stats and different things from like Money in the Bank, up at voicesofwrestling.com/STR, there's a inside the numbers look at Money in the Bank, some interesting facts and figures, average match length, a bunch of different stuff. Kane is entering his 7th Money in the Bank match. Kane is going to be in this Money in the Bank match. That is going to be a record. As long as he stays in it, he will be the record holder for most Money in the Bank matches. And when the Money in the Bank match ends, as long as it goes over 5 minutes, he will be the record holder for the most amount of time spent in a Money in the Bank match, beating Christian, who has the current record. So some facts and figures for you. But we have a question from Danny on Twitter at Shake Them Ropes. A few episodes ago, you and Jeff asked, will there ever be an NXT champion that came from the main roster? Daniel Bryan was mentioned. How about John Cena? So this discussion was the fact that, okay, you still, in the hierarchy of things, you're going from NXT to WWE. You can be an NXT champion, you go up to WWE. And we were kind of asking with Daniel Bryan, like, would there ever be a scenario where someone's maybe winding down their career or maybe fits better in NXT as they try and make this their own brand, that maybe goes away from the main roster to freshen up in NXT and becomes an NXT champion? And at the time, there wasn't really anyone we could think of. And we both said that maybe that person hasn't even debuted yet. Like, maybe it'll eventually happen, but it hasn't, come up yet. Danny is asking if John Cena could be that person because he's in this feud with Kevin Owens. Now, the difference being, if John Cena ever won the NXT title from Kevin Owens, it's not like he would be in NXT. I mean, he's not going to work the Florida tapings. He's not going to be on NXT TakeOver. I mean, I don't think John Cena will ever be on a takeover like that unless they really want to amp up this third brand in a way of NXT.
The only reason that doesn't make sense, and I thought about that. I thought about maybe a one shot where he beats Owens for the belt, for the NXT belt, and he goes down there and he loses.
I think it could be a possibility that he fights for the NXT champion at some point in this program. Yes. I don't think he's going to be in NXT at all. No,
but the thing is, wins over John Cena, clean wins, still matter. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to do those, especially like if John Cena is the NXT champ, at some point he's going to have to lose the championship, and that will make a guy.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that on an NXT show. You want to do that on a Raw where you have eyeballs watching and you want to make a star. And that's why everybody has thought for the longest time that Finn Balor would be the guy to get the win in the US title match. It does Finn absolutely no good to beat him for the NXT title.
Yeah, I mean, you're far more likely to see someone like a Heath Slater or a Zack Ryder or someone who maybe doesn't have purpose on the main roster and goes down to NXT, and maybe they hit it off in NXT. Maybe they pull a Tyson Kidd where they actually get a career resurgence because of their work in NXT, and they wrestle for the title at one point and become NXT champion. I mean, this week on NXT, most of you will listen to this after NXT has already aired, but Zack Ryder is on this week's NXT. Like, someone like that who goes down to maybe freshen up or try something new.
It might be a woman.
And it could be someone on the women's roster.
Might be Emma. Might be Emma. She's in the running now.
I mean, Emma is a perfect example. And that's why I'm thinking it could happen with the men at some point. Like, you can have someone who was, just flailing about on the main roster and wasn't doing anything important. And they go down to NXT, whether it's to freshen them up or whether it's because there's a spot for them. And they become the champion. They have something going on for them. I don't know if Zack Ryder's that guy either. I don't know if, Bo Dallas is that guy. Maybe we still don't have that person. But that very well could be a scenario at some point, especially as NXT becomes its third brand. Because like you don't book Zack Ryder on all these house shows. Maybe start booking him on NXT. When you have Sami Zayn injured and you have Hideo Itami injured, you have Kevin Owens on the main roster. There's room in NXT on the traveling brand for a guy like Zack Ryder or Heath Slater.
Or Brad Maddox.
Or Drew McIntyre. Mm-hmm.
He's still with TNA, though.
Think about it. At Book It Gabe. Think about it. Maybe an Austin Aries. Maybe a Beretta.
Chuck Taylor.
NXT this week has 6 matches on the show.
Okay.
1 hour show. 6 matches. Squashes galore. Look at this lineup. And we won't go through results, but look at this lineup that was on this show tonight.
Tell me, since I can't look at it.
Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley against Mike Rawless and Elias Sampson. That's not going over 5 minutes.
No.
Emma versus Blue Pants. Tyler Breeze versus Bull Dempsey. Becky Lynch versus Jessie McKay. Baron Corbin versus Angelo Dawkins. And make sure I have this right, because I'm not necessarily sure if this is the accurate name, but Samoa Joe, I think, is going up against Scott Dawson in the main event of the program. These could all be openers on WWF Jacked.
Yeah. This is a WCW Saturday Night Worldwide Wrestling / card.
This is a WCW Pro card, missing some Buff Bagwell on it, is what it is.
Okay.
Book Buff Bagwell on this show, and you got WCW Pro on a Sunday night. Buff Bagwell might have been even too big of a name to work on Pro a lot. Like, he may have been seconding Scott Norton. back in the day on WCW Pro. But that's your lineup for this NXT as Samoa Joe travels on to eventually take on Kevin Owens. And this is like the first time where you're really getting some interesting stuff with NXT, with the fact that they last taped their show on May 21st, because you've had so much switchover with Kevin Owens now on the main roster. You have the Finn Balor match set up. The next TV tapings for NXT are June 18th after next week's show. That's your next TV tapings, and we'll hopefully have a bigger idea of what Samoa Joe is exactly going to do. And not to mention the fact that Samoa Joe is going to wrestle on WWE in WWE on the 18th of June for NXT, and then 2 days later wrestle for Ring of Honor. Like, it's
dark
still,
match.
Yeah, but still,
yeah.
It's an interesting dynamic we have here as Samoa Joe enters his, was it fourth WWE show? Because he was at TakeOver, did the NXT tapings, wrestled dark on Raw, and now is going to be on NXT TV here again. And then wrestle still in Ring of Honor. And we don't know what they're going to do with the title situation. Like, a lot of it hinges on what happens even Sunday. I mean, if Kevin Owens gets beat clean by John Cena, I suppose you can have Samoa Joe beat him for the NXT title. You can have someone interfere. You can have Finn Balor beat him. Because let's be real here. July 4th, you think, how many people are going to watch that show? The 4th of July, airing at 7 in the morning on the East Coast. Like, people will know what happened, but it's the hardcores of the hardcores who are even watching a house show on a Sunday morning. Saturday morning. Hardcores of the hardcores.
Is it going to be live, or is it going to be live to tape?
It's live. It's air. The show begins at 6:30 Eastern in the morning on July 4th. Saturday, July 4th. Yeah. Not many people are watching that show. Even on demand, not many people are watching that show unless you know what's going on. Like, these are the hardcores who are going to be watching that show. I'll be watching that show. Probably not live, because you don't really need to watch it live. You watch live to tape.
Agreed.
It's also smack dab in between two New Japan shows that'll be on New Japan World on Friday morning and Sunday morning, including Dominion on July 5th. Yeah. AJ Styles, Kazuchika Okada, and every fucking match you can possibly imagine for every title in the promotion. It's awesome. Yeah, all taking place in Tokyo. A big weekend for those who want to be up in the morning to watch some pro wrestling. So
it's like their own WrestleMania weekend.
It is. It's pretty big. and WWE is the Ring of Honor promotion.
Yeah.
You know, fighting for some time.
New Japan's looking around. Don't let them rent any arenas anywhere.
Yeah. Well, they got Quirkin, so they got in there. So you think Finn Balor's going to win the title on that show?
Yes.
I would be really interested to see what people think, because it makes the most sense for Finn Balor to win on that show. I could easily see Samoa Joe winning at the TV tapings even, you know, getting some type of match and just taking the belt off Kevin Owens. I guess I could see that. There's some options that you have. I mean, there's definitely some options. You change the title on Raw. Kevin Owens has had NXT title matches on Raw. You could always change the title somehow, even with getting John Cena involved. Like, if you don't want to beat Kevin Owens clean.
Yeah, but that's a hometown pop type of situation. Yeah. So to speak.
Yeah, you could do a number of different things. That is NXT. The next TV tapings are June 18th. They're doing house shows this weekend. They got Pittsburgh on Thursday. They got Cleveland on Friday and Columbus on Saturday. Right. They're doing the house show tours. The buildings in Pittsburgh and Columbus are very small. They fit about 1,000 people. So those have been sold out for a while. The Agora Theater in Cleveland holds about 2,000. That's not sold out on the Friday night. I don't know if it will be with all the NBA final stuff going on, and there's a lot to do there right now. The Indians, I believe, are at home that day. They may not be, but I believe they are. So a lot of stuff.
Cleveland becoming party central.
It is the mecca of the sports world. Mecca of the sports world. But a lot of stuff. Kevin Owens is on these shows. Kevin Owens could, lose to someone on these shows. I don't think for the title. But right now, remember, even though the NXT title may not be on the line, he is your current WWE linear champion. So any loss is a potential title loss to someone else here in WWE/NXT/whoever.
Yeah.
Interested to see what names show up. Rhino may be on these shows. Maybe you get someone local. Maybe a little Tommy Dreamer action comes back to NXT. That's right, comes back to NXT. Tommy Dreamer, more matches in NXT this year than who? Who hasn't been in NXT in a while? Mojo Rawley?
Yeah.
Mojo Rawley.
Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, Ty Dillinger. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Brock Lesnar's coming back. Money in the Bank is this Sunday. Again, a reminder, we're going to be live. voicesofwrestling.com/STR. You can follow us on Twitter at Shake Them Ropes. At WrestleMania 21, Jeff Hawkins, a new concept for a match in WWE debuted. A Money in the Bank ladder match. A ladder match on the show featuring multiple wrestlers. And the prize at the top would not be a championship. It would be the shot at a championship whenever you wanted it. Chris Jericho in storyline introduced this idea, the Money in the Bank ladder match. It came a possibility at WrestleMania 21 featuring Edge. Of course, Kane, because you know if there's a match that has some
this is a funny story because when this match was announced, the internet went kind of nuts, as I recall, because of who was announced in it. Because it was originally just we have 5 participants so far. It's Jericho, Benoit, Shelton Benjamin, Christian, and who else is in it other than
Edge?
And Edge. It's like, oh man, that's a work rate fan's dream. It's great. Then the rumor started. There's rumors that they're going to add a 6th, and it's possibly Kane. And everybody went, Kane? What? Come on, man. This is everything. You're going to put Kane. Oh, he's just going to crush the little guys. And then people have been complaining about the same things about Kane for 10 years now, at least.
For longer, even. I know. But
yeah.
You had Edge, Kane, Chris Benoit, Christian, who came to the ring with Tyson Tomko, by the way.
This is my favorite incarnation of Christian. This is the Captain Charisma Christian with my favorite version of his theme, the original by Waterproof Blonde. And this is when actually people thought he was going to win Money in the Bank because
he was a big favorite. Yeah,
he was getting really hot here, and this was when he was starting to call out John Cena a lot as Marky Mark and calling him a fake rapper.
Well, he had a championship match with John Cena and Chris Jericho later that year. Like, he was a pretty big favorite at the time, because I remember that. Like, Christian was a big favorite. Edge, I don't think anyone bought Edge being in that slot yet. Now, they were kind of in the same boat because no one bought Christian to be in that slot. But they thought this might prop him up, and the fact that he was in programs with John Cena a little bit.
He was cutting really strong promos, so they were thinking, okay, now's the chance to elevate Christian into being a main event player, and people really bought into that. The other one they were really buying into was, okay, this is the chance for Shelton Benjamin to start getting something behind him, and they may give him the briefcase here to get some legitimacy because Benoit doesn't need it. And and Kane, Kane's Kane, but man, it'd be great because man, look at everything he's done, and look at
and again, because you can tell after Edge had won this Money in the Bank match, like, he didn't get the title shot until next January. It's not like they had plans to do anything with this. So you could have thought they might have had plans. The fact that Christian was in the title picture not too long after this, they obviously had plans for him to do something. So a lot of the talk going in was that Christian might win this one. But this match here was an all-out sprint. Like,
I don't know if they had plans for Christian other than to do the match with Cena and then say thanks for being here, because he went to TNA after that program.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there weren't really
Still,
any long
program. I mean, they did a fucking program with him.
No. It wasn't a real program. It was a half-assed program.
Right.
It was like he was getting beat every week by Cena, and he would cut a few great promos, and he wouldn't get any wins against him, and so he was just like, all right, I want to leave now since there's nothing else I can do. Jericho
was leaving too, so it was like, we're going to put both of these guys with Cena so we can get their, something fresh, but also get them both out of the way.
Yeah, well, they put Jericho in there because they didn't think Christian was big enough because Vince doesn't like Christian.
Right.
So,
well, they're right. Honestly, they were right. Money in the Bank, all out sprint. And the match actually starts before the bell even rings for like a good minute and a half. Kane is making his entrance and all the smaller guys go at him. This is the debut of before Kofi Kingston was there doing all the crazy spots and matches, it was Shelton times Benjamin's spot to do all the craziness in matches. And boy, did he go crazy in matches, and especially in WrestleMania 22, the next one, that RVD one where he comes off the top rope and lands. He sticks a landing on the ladder, but he does all the climbing spots like Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin was great, but really, I mean, you know who in particular was excellent in this match?
I thought Christian was taking some mad bumps.
You're supposed to say who, and the answer is everybody.
Yeah,
everyone was fantastic in this match. Kane was fantastic in this match. I mean, some of the biggest spots that had the biggest reactions were either Kane falling off the ladder or Kane pushing the ladder over.
When he pushed Christian over onto Tomko on the outside.
When he pushes Christian over on Tomko was nuts. When he goes up top and just does a planche off the top rope to everyone on the outside, and that might have been one of the loudest, portions the crowd was into in the entire match. Like, Kane was a big deal here.
Mm-hmm.
The whole match, and again, a sprint. The match went 15 minutes, so it's not like you can set up spot after spot after spot and just breathe in between. This was an all-out sprint for what they did, and in contrast to something like TLC, where you had tables, ladders, and chairs debut at SummerSlam 2000, and it was a really good match, but it didn't take off. It didn't hit the mark until TLC 2 at WrestleMania 2001, WrestleMania 17. Like, that's the one that I think most people remember as the craziness and the best TLC match. Money in the Bank 1, to me, is the best Money in the Bank match.
Yes. Yeah.
I would put that above everyone, including the last one that Randy Orton won in 2013. That got a lot of rave reviews. This was the best one.
This is the best. And there's another underrated gem in here as well. And as usual, we have to preface it. Yes, Chris Benoit killed his wife and son.
Wow.
But, well, you can never seem to give him accolades without hearing, he's a murderer, right? I go, yes, I know he's a murderer, but I like his work. When Kane does the ladder spot hitting his arm, that arm is dead pretty much for the rest of the match, including when he's trying to climb the ladder for the headbutt.
Yep, the arm's
dead. He's having problems climbing the ladder. And then he opens up his stitches on the actual headbutt.
Mm-hmm.
My God. I mean, it was just brutality, but beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, Chris Benoit he took selling seriously. Like, oh yeah, if Chris Benoit was still around, you wonder how he would kind of fit into today's WWE, where you could break your leg on a pay-per-view on Sunday and then run to the ring on Raw on Monday.
Yeah,
we're selling it. You don't sell. I mean, okay, we don't care what your injury was from the pay-per-view. You are 100% healed the next day. Chris Benoit couldn't do that.
He also comes from that Ric Flair school of selling where if he's on the ground, he's screaming at the top of his lungs in pain, which I noticed.
Yeah. It's
at the end of the match. Yeah.
Chris Benoit selling the arm. Edge kind of working himself into positions where he finally wins by working himself like out of all the chaos and trying to find the best spots to insert himself. Chris Jericho is working this match like, okay, I'm the one who created this bout, so I should be the one who's involved in it the most. Yeah, Shelton Benjamin who's just hitting craziness stuff. You have Kane who's the big man choke slamming everyone around. Like, okay, I'm in here with all you midgets, so I'm just going to kind of take over.
Yeah, the other spots that were plentiful, and these are always risky in these ladder matches that they're doing, is the ones, any match where you're kicking a moving ladder or even a stationary ladder of any kind, you get your foot caught in some of those wrong. So I'm watching these things going, man, there's a moment here when there's that one kind of semi botch where Kane's supposed to choke slam Shelton down to the ground and he gets his foot caught in the ropes. Mm-hmm. That was scary.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this match is just all-out chaos. It's hard to...
This is the best. This is the best Money in the Bank match they ever had.
I thought it was the best because it's the first one, too, and you have the crowd going insane for every single thing these guys are doing, and it's not a matter of, okay, I've seen this spot before. Like, I mean, it's hard to do a Money in the Bank ladder match right now because you have all the guys. It was impossible for the one that Jack Swagger won because that Money in the Bank ladder match had 10 guys in it. Was that the 10-guy one?
I think so.
It was a 10-man ladder match here. You put more and more guys in it. Doesn't make any of the spots better. It just means people are going to forget everything. But this one here, because it was the first and you never saw this stuff before with multi-man matches, or at least for 4 years, because it had still been 3 or 4 years since you had the tag team TLC matches where there was a bunch of craziness. You're not doing it every single year.
And that's the problem. They should put this match away for situations where they need it. Kind of like the Elimination Chamber almost eliminates Money in the Bank, to be honest with you. Because you can have and it's much safer, because now that you have it every year, you have to keep going bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of putting your aerial guys at risk. Like, I'm afraid for Neville's life in this match.
I'm not necessarily.
He's young. Well, he's young, and he's not going to say no to something if somebody presents it.
See, I think the worst thing that they can present to him is, hey, you're going to do the red arrow out of this, and Randy Orton is going to catch you, so you just do your move. Because really, there's no difference. There's no difference to Neville when he's doing this move. Hold on a second. There's no difference when you're doing this move here. But also with the fact that, okay, I don't know if he's going to do anything crazy to the outside. He may. He's not Sin Cara, who they don't really care about. Like, this is a guy who they're putting on TV and they want to make sure he's safe, and they have this whole thing with injuries. It's not even about that. It's the fact that you have so many guys, like the year John Cena was in it, right? The year John Cena won the Money in the Bank. If you want to keep it fresh, I think that's the way to do it. Not necessarily change how every match is done, but put a big name, like a really big name in the Money in the Bank, but make those big names different. You can have your Kofi Kingstons in every match. You can have your Nevilles in every match, but don't have the same guys over and over as far as all participants, and keep it to 6. Have 6 guys in the match. Don't have 7. Don't have 8. Don't have 10. Have 6 guys in the match. Your Kofi, your Neville, 4 mid-card guys who maybe have been fighting for other titles, and then your 2 big names.
Yeah. But in terms of going real quick back to the Neville thing, even the basic stuff, because you remember the NXT ladder match he had with Bo Dallas, he did the red arrow onto the ladder. And that's not pleasant.
I feel like I just put 8 men in the match with that. I meant 2 of each type, but go ahead. Yeah. I like the Roman Reigns and Randy Orton because you have some credible guys, but next year it's got to be someone else. I mean, if I hate to say it just because of all the injury stuff, if Daniel Bryan is back, maybe have him in it again. You have John Cena in it. That's going to be the all-time. When you're really stagnant, put Brock Lesnar in the Money in the Bank match, just so he's tossing everyone around. I'm fine if that Money in the Bank match goes 3 minutes and it's just Brock F5ing ladders into people. I'm fine with that. Great. If that Money in the Bank match goes 3 minutes and he's crushing everybody, there's no way you can say, I didn't get what I paid for. You got more than what you paid for. You got Brock murdering dudes.
I want Brock and I want El Torito in the same Money in the Bank ladder match. So you can kill him.
Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars. Highly recommended. I think it's the best Money in the Bank match that there's ever been.
It is. No doubt. Now, who originated the Money in the Bank match? Whose idea was it? Do you know?
As far as like who actually considered this, I don't know. It's probably Vince. Hey, what do we put up there? And someone said, hey, let's have a title shot.
Okay.
And they came up with it. I don't know.
Thought you might.
Because I don't know. Let's just go John Laurinaitis.
I was thinking maybe Patterson.
I just like to put all good ideas on the back of John Laurinaitis because why not? We have breaking news on the program before we get out of here on Shake Them Ropes 88. Global Force Wrestling's first show is this Friday. The first show they are ever running.
Oh, you son of a... I thought you were actually having breaking news.
Oh, no, we have breaking news about this show.
Oh, canceled?
The main event is Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, the Bullet Club, taking on the New Heavenly Bodies, a Texas tag team. Managing the Bullet Club on this show will be Jim Cornette. Is
the
managing
Bullet Club or not the
Bullet Club?
Now
the Young Bucks are not. I don't believe the Young Bucks are on these shows. They are not. They are not on these shows coming up. But Jim Cornette is managing the Bullet Club. This man who despises the Bullet Club, by the way.
Yes.
Is managing them.
Who's managing the New Heavenly Bodies? Is it Pritchard?
I don't know. Nobody.
Huh.
There's your little gimmick. The Bullet Club with Jim Cornette. I don't think anyone's managing
He's going to turn on the Bullet Club, join the New Heavenly Bodies.
Sure, why not? Why not? Shout out to a friend of me. Congo Kong is on these shows. Congo Kong is wrestling Moose, formerly Osiris, a little local guy here in Fort Wayne who's been wrestling forever. Now getting his shot at Global Force, so hopefully more people find out who he is. But that's Global Force Wrestling. Next week, ROH has their big pay-per-view with the Young Bucks and AJ Styles in a 6-man tag. I forget at the moment who they're wrestling. I think it's the Kingdom. Matt Taven, Adam Cole. I believe that's who it is. I'm not actually entirely certain. But a lot of stuff going on next week because you're going to have the NXT TV tapings. You're going to have Money in the Bank here on Sunday. You're going to have ROH doing their pay-per-view. Not to mention in 2 weeks is TNA Slammiversary. I know the people are excited.
The Wolves and Aries and Rude will have a good match, but other than that.
Surprised
you didn't want to talk about Gabe just a little bit. I had a question for you.
Let's talk about
that
Gabe.
Nobody's brought.
What's going on here is the Twitter world has gone crazy today.
Yeah.
About NXT killing the indies and Triple H purchasing WWE Live and purchasing Evolve and using Evolve as a feeder system. Now there's some truth to that. There are arrangements going on. Gabe Sapolsky very well may be technically a WWE employee at some point later on this year. But not today. It's not today. It may happen soon, but the world has gone nuts. Gabe Sapolsky, expert troll, today on Twitter, when all this stuff was going on, tweeted out that he would have a major announcement. And that major announcement, trolling everyone, was not in relation to anything WWE, was announcing that Zack Sabre Jr. was returning to Evolve in July because he's a master troll. He's a master troll, and he's great at it, and it was hilarious. And then Gabe Sapolsky on Twitter, not too long before we started recording, was obviously doing a vanity search on Twitter, searching for Gabe WWE because of all this stuff was going on. So he tweeted out Gabe WWE.
Unless he was trolling you guys.
Oh, no, 'cause he deleted the tweet shortly after. This was a mistaken tweet. But he's having some fun with it. But yeah, there's something that's going to be happening. And we referenced it a little bit last week, very vainly. It's picking up steam. People are starting to find out that there's smoke to this fire. Triple H is expanding NXT, and he's doing some out-of-the-box things to expand NXT. One of those out-of-the-box things with helping developmental is going to be working with promotions, and they have a pretty good relationship with Evolve and Gabe Sapolsky. And it's one of those things where if Gabe wants to work in wrestling and get some more money out of it, that's probably one of the ways you can do.
Well, here's my question, because everybody's saying, well, it's basically to lock up talent so they don't go to ROH or TNA. My question is, if they give seat money to Evolve and Gabe can now run more shows and maybe have, I don't know, how does Gabe's contracts work? Are they on a performance basis, or does he actually have not long-term deals, but short-term deals for number of shows?
With wrestlers?
Yeah.
Huh? No, it's an indie show. It's like, hey, can you work the show? There's no contracts. He has no contracts with anyone.
Well, you have to. Oh, okay. So it's basically handshake deals then.
Yeah, it's, hey, can you work this date?
Yeah. No,
Gabe Sapolsky moved backwards when he left Ring of Honor as far as what they can do, because they can't sign people to contracts. They just don't have the number of shows to do it. Hey, can you work this date? Yes or no?
Yeah. I don't mean contracts by, the way you think of major companies having contracts. I mean, okay, you can work, you'll work 4 shows for us and we'll pay you this much per show.
No, it's one show at a time for everybody.
Okay. Because I was thinking if they could, so if he could actually get concrete contracts of some variety and you're just running more shows of Evolve on the East Coast, you could, in theory, if you could lock in guys for more money, cripple a PWG in some ways.
You could, but I again, that's not the intent. When everyone looks at, okay, Triple H is trying to kill the indies, that's not what he's doing. He's trying to strengthen NXT. And if that has some hindrances on the independents because he's signing up what people consider to be the top talents, so be it. Triple H is trying to run his business. He's not going out there with the intent of, let's kill the indies. I want to be the only one. It's, I want NXT to succeed. Who are the best talents out there? I mean, that's what it is. Like when you're signing the Briscoes, You're not signing the Briscoes to hurt ROH. You're signing the Briscoes to help NXT. And if ROH can't adapt and push other talents, that's on them. That's not on Triple H to leave the best talents for them.
Okay, so it's only to hurt ROH and TNA, not to hurt.
It's not to hurt anyone. He's not intending to hurt anybody.
Oh, it has to be.
No, 0%. 0%.
Wow, really?
I'm signing Samoa Joe because I need a big name because Kevin Owens is on the main roster and Sami Zayn is hurt and Hideo Itami is hurt. I need a big name to help my touring because I want to tour NXT. I'm not going to say those are the pros. That's why I'm signing Samoa Joe. I need him for my show because he's a free agent. He's available. Let's go get the best talent. It's not, oh, Samoa Joe's going back to ROH? Well, fuck them. I'm going to sign Samoa Joe. No, 0%. Those who have the narrative that Triple H is trying to hurt NXT, or hurt the independents by making the deals he's doing, aren't seeing what the big picture is. They're not seeing, they're looking at it from their frame of mind like, okay, I like the indies. This guy's coming at us against the indies. No, trying to help NXT, trying to help the company. You're signing the best talents. He has an idea. He wants to make NXT his brand, the brand that he brings up to prominence, right? And the best way to do that is sign the best talents. I'm not going to sign the goddamn heavenly bodies ahead of Samoa Joe because the heavenly bodies aren't in ROH and I don't want to hurt them.
But you said it yourself at one point, is that you thought that the Triple H model was to make it the best indie in the country.
Yeah. That doesn't mean he's trying to hurt anyone else.
I agree with your point. You've turned me on that one because I never think highly of what they do for business. I never do. I always take that kind of jaundiced eye. If you're telling me that there's no harmful intent in this at all, I'll believe you. I'm fine with that.
No, I mean, it's just not the motivator. Because if you're motivated by killing all the indies, then, okay, what happens in 10 years when you don't have the same talents anymore and you need them around? Because where else are people going to... I mean, kill the indies is ridiculous. The indies aren't going anywhere. No,
but to get rid of some of the more better... or to cripple some of the better-known indies?
No.
You know? Okay.
No. You want to do what's best for your brand, and I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to build a brand. I don't think he's watching ROH TV every week and saying, no, he's listening for what names are on the internet, creating a buzz, and that's who he's looking at. There's a reason why there are all these rumors wanting to sign the Briscoes. Because he doesn't know what they're doing on their Twitter. He doesn't know what they're doing on the ROH TV show. He just sees that there's buzz around the Briscoes. Like, hey, maybe we should look at these guys. You're looking at the guys who have the buzz around them. Maybe not even the best physical abilities. Just the buzz, because you want that buzz to be on NXT. You're trying to build yourself up. You're trying to grow your business.
Okay.
The fact that people think there's malicious intent being the sole factor in signing certain people.
Not sole factor, but
the majority factor. It's just not there. But what's going to be happening with Gabe and NXT and Gabe having a working relationship, if it comes to fruition, if it actually comes to pass, could be really interesting. And there will be people out there who look at it more negatively, and that's fine. I mean, because if you think that your brand that you like is going to get hurt, that's natural. Like, if I think all the best talents I like in Ring of Honor are going to be signed by NXT tomorrow, and I like Ring of Honor, I'm going to be a little upset by that. But you got to look at the other side. NXT, they want the best talents. And if the best talents are Ring of Honor, not only does that kind of back you up, that you liked Ring of Honor for a reason. It justifies why you like them because NXT thinks those are the best talents too. But the thing is, NXT wants them because they want to be the best brand.
Okay.
You know, if Google wants to be the best, they're going to hire the smartest guys. And if those smartest guys used to work at Apple, so be it. Be on the lookout on Twitter at Shake Them Ropes for any possible news about Bram re-signing with TNA. But for Shake Them Ropes, that is all this week. We'll see you on Sunday night, 11 p.m. for our post Money in the Bank match. At Shake Them Ropes on Twitter, voicesofwrestling.com/STR.
I hope to be better by then.